This is 3FM.
We're sailing on uncharted waters at the moment with the Brexit, and I think what we have to do is still be nimble. But what I've noticed is over the last few years, we've been hitting a lot of the medium-low earners and the people on fixed incomes, and we've got to ensure that those people aren't targeted again, because they're the ones who are now starting to struggle. We've also got to make sure that we give our children, when they come back from university, opportunities of work over here. So what I would like to see is some sort of tax system that was able to give somebody who's been to university a tax rebate for part of their tuition fees for when they come back here and work. And the future development of the island has to be how we can keep a strong economy here, because the health service is gobbling up a lot of our money, and to ensure that we make the most of the efficiencies we can do across government. Well, at the start of the administration, they were going to actually deal with a lot of the issues. And I know when I became Minister of Department, Community, Culture and Leisure, and you go into Council of Ministers and they're saying, oh yes, well, we've got to address these issues. And, I consider that I did my part, but then I was waiting for everybody else, and they seem to have sort of fudged the issue and pushed it off into the long grass. And we've actually given, there's been austerity fatigue out there, but the people have been waiting to see what's going to happen. They've been warned about all these changes. And I think we need to try and get some more confidence back into the island, that when you see that we've got 620 odd people unemployed and 1,000 job vacancies, you would hope that we'd be actually in a very confident area, that people know that they've got to have jobs. But one of the problems that we've got is that I think they've actually cut down to the very minimum numbers of the policing, and the strain's probably going to start showing in the next year or so. So if we have a bit of an incident, we're going to be struggling along there. And I think that's where the priorities have to be set. We've often seen sort of schemes going ahead where, the public is seeing a waste of money. You've got £1 million odd in design fees for the promenade. You've had the Slough done for £500,000. Where's our priorities? The public are seeing cuts, but there still continues to be this waste. Well, when you look at the sea service, I've been on a number of committees looking at the sea services, and we need to make sure that we have fares that are actually attracting people to the Isle of Man and doesn't make it too expensive for people to go away. So my own personal opinion is that we're in no rush to renew the user agreement, because I think in the next couple of years we'll be able to get a better deal out of it. The previous user agreement that was put towards Timbold was just giving inflationary increases to the steam packet company, and they still have a lot of debt which the people of the Isle of Man through the fares are actually refinancing. But we've also got issues with the airlines, because we've had a number of issues of quality of service, and I really think that we need to re-establish a travel consultative group which includes government, the airlines, the shipping companies, and the public as well, to try and make sure we have a reliable and efficient service at a reasonable cost. One of the things I've picked up on the health service when I've been going around is that there's been quite a bit of waste on appointments, and when people are flown across, they don't have their medical records over there. I think the IT system is failing the Isle of Man quite badly. Even though they've just introduced a new, very expensive system, I don't think it's actually fit for purpose, because it doesn't link up the doctors with the hospital, with the so your primary and secondary health service are not actually linked through it. And when you look at appointments, people are getting appointment cards through on the day of the appointment, so they're missing them. I think what we have to do is that by setting our priorities early on and letting the people know what our priorities are, and what you also do is during that term you continue to inform the people of the Isle of Man where we're up to, because not all the time people get all the information, and of course sometimes it then goes on rumour, and we need to get out there and make sure it's not spin. We've got to have actual communications out there saying what we're looking to do, how we've got on, and I think that will give confidence to people that the government has been open and transparent about the way we have to the future.
More music for the Isle of Man.
3FM.